Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the shop. Guys, we are going to finish up on the TBM brake upgrades, and we're going to be installing the brand new F3X drag brakes on the rear of the Camaro. One of the features about the XS3 brakes that I have in the front of the car is that they require a wheel barrel inner diameter of 14 inches or larger, otherwise the wheel will hit the caliper. Billet specialties that I have in a 15 by 10 6.5 inch back spacing for both my race tires and my street tires do not have that. That notwithstanding, we're going to go ahead and put these on. Some of the features with the F3X compared to the traditional drag brakes that you might be familiar with, they still have the same scalloped rotor. However, instead of being forged, these are now billet from 70, 75. They also feature a little bit more lightning as well as aluminum pistons in the same 1 3/4 inch size that were in the F3 calipers. All that said, they are going to save you about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds compared to the previous version. Also, the hats, the calipers, and the caliper brackets are now anodized black versus the nickel polish that you are familiar with. Anyways, let's go ahead and get onto the install. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull the existing brakes off, pull the axle if you had to. What we want to do is we want to verify the housing ends that we have. Now, the way that we do that is going to be take a center-to-center measurement of these 2 bolt holes and these 2 bolt holes. And the reason why is this shape of the housing end itself is not standard. What is standard is those center-to-center measurements. So what we come out with is about 3.52 on there and about 2 inches vertical. The other thing we want to do is measure for the bearing. The bearing comes out to 3,150. That comes out to a big Ford new or a big Ford Torino housing end. The next thing that we want to do is we want to measure the axle flange offset, and that is going to be a measurement from this surface out to the axle flange where the rotor hat is going to sit. Hold on 1 second. We have the axle flange in. We're going to take a straight edge along there, come to the back side. So we're measuring that same face. We're going to measure out to this. What we come out with is 2 9/16. Also, you're going to want to measure your axle flange offset on both sides, as they are not always the same side to side. Where the axle flange offset is going to come into play is which hat you get with your kits. We're also verifying the housing end pattern because it plays a factor, especially in which caliper brackets you have. Okay, so here we've got the hat and the rotor. It's called the hat because it sits on the axle. One of the advantages of a TBM brake over on some of the other brands is that these are 2 pieces. There are other manufacturers where the rotor and the hat is 1 piece. They're a little bit less expensive. However, once you factor in replacement rotors when the time comes, with TBM brake, you can buy just the rotor. You don't have to buy the whole kit. Once you factor that in on a replacement cost, the cost on TBMs is actually significantly cheaper. So there's 2 hats. There's this one. There's an 0222 hat, and then there's an 0214 hat. We use different hats for the different axle flange offsets. Additionally, there will be, as you can see here, 3 machined steps in the hat, and also the rotor itself has a machined flat on it, and this gives you 6 different positions of adjustability, and that'll come into play later when it's time to shim everything and make sure that the caliper is straight and square on the rotor. For now, we're going to install the rotors with the bolts dry. Once everything's installed, all the shimming's done, we'll go back and Loctite everything and torque everything into place. With the hat and the rotor assembled, it's time to put caliper bracket on. So you'll have a left and a right caliper bracket. there's going to be a machined pocket that will secure the bearing. Also, each hat is drilled for 1/2 inch and 5/8 studs, 4.5, 5 on 4 3/4 bolt pattern. And now what I like to do is to use 2 of the lug nuts, speed wrench them on to hold the hat and the rotor tied up against the axle flange. All right, now it's time to mock up the caliper on the caliper bracket, see how it fits with the rotor in there. We're gonna take the pads. Now the caliper is mocked up in place, and what we're going to do is we're going to put the pads in the caliper and see if the caliper needs to move either outward or inward. And those of you, again, that are familiar with the traditional drag brakes would be familiar with the #1 compound. We've also updated pad compounds, and we have now the 96. It has the same stopping performance as the #1 pad compound. It has a higher operating temperature, which means you should get longer pad life out of them. So in this instance, I need for the rotor to move out. So what we're going to do is all of those bolts that hold the rotor to the hat, we're going to loosen them, remove them all, and move it to the next step, the next notch down. So I moved the rotor from this step down to this step, the middle step. That moved the rotor outward, which then resulted in the rotor being centered in the caliper. This side did not require any shims. The passenger side required 2 shims in order to center the caliper on the rotor. Once all the aligning and shimming is done, I went ahead and removed each of the 7 rotor bolts one at a time, Loctited them and torqued them. Following that, I then did the same thing on the 2 caliper bolts to the caliper brackets. Rotor bolts get torqued to 18 foot-pounds with red Loctite. Caliper bolts get torqued to 25 foot-pounds with red Loctite. With everything Loctited and torqued, it is now time to bleed your brake system. When you're installing your pads for the final time, another feature of the 96 compound brake pads is that the backing plates have a pin retainer, and it keeps them from falling out. You'll put the retaining pin and the safety clip back in place. One thing worth mentioning, that with the 4-piston calipers of either the XS3 line or the F3X, we would want a master cylinder with a 1.032-inch bore master cylinder with between a 6 and a 7-to-1 pedal ratio. All right, guys, as you saw, it was not too bad of an install. It was a little bit tedious making sure that you get the shimming correct. Because this is a fixed caliper, not a floating caliper, you have to make sure that the shimming and the alignment of the rotor to the caliper is correct and parallel, or else you will have issues. Anyways, looking forward to going ahead and getting some miles put on these brakes, putting them through the paces both on the track and on the street, as well as at Drag Week this year. If you enjoyed this video, there's gonna be 2 of them right here that I think you might enjoy. Thanks for watching. Have a nice night.